are lazy. So they use this little delta sign to mean the change. So if I want to go from this point here to this point here, we're in downtown Minneapolis, I've got all these buildings in my way, I have to go over, I have to run over this way. How many spaces am I running? How many spaces to get all the way over to this vertical line? You're going down blocks. How many blocks? 3. So count the spaces. 1, 2, 3. And then what are we going to do? We're going to run. We're going to jump up here on the Y's. How many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the problem is you're going to get that mixed up. It's the Y's over the X's. They could have done it X over Y, but they didn't. Mathematicians chose to do it Y over X. So that's all we're going to do today. We're not even going to do the slope formula. There's a formula for it. And what happens is, you know, all these lines, they have slopes. That's got a slope. That is a negative slope. This has a positive slope. If you read left to right, you're going to go this way. You're going to go up the hill, so that's positive. In this case, we read left to right. You're going this way, you're going to go down the hill, so it's negative. And that's one way I remember which is which. So, why is that a negative 5/3? It doesn't matter where you start. Do you want to do the rise or the run first? I guess some people like to do the rise. Let's start at this point. We can do it both ways. And we're going to go up to this one. How many spaces have we gone up? We'll do it a little bit backwards from this. How many? Count. How many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Think of the spaces. If you count lines, you're going to get in trouble. So that's 5. And then you're going to run over here. But which direction are we running? We're going this way. Are we going backwards or forwards? Backwards. So this is going to be 3, but it's going to be negative because we're going backwards. So, and I don't care where you put the negative sign. This is the same as a positive 5 over a negative 3, which is the same as a negative 5 over a positive 3. In upper level math, you're going to have to recognize these 3 things are the same things. The slope ends up being negative. You can look at the graph and just count the spaces if you want and say, oh, I'm going down the hill, so it's going to be negative. Sometimes I do it that way. Doesn't really matter. We have a lot of practice here to practice with this. I don't know why that's there. Okay, what about this situation? Oh, you should have your pages turned, you guys. I don't think I have the blank graph there, because I couldn't figure out why it was there. Okay, slope of 0. Okay, Corey, why is that a slope of 0? By the way, the letter for slope is M. And M stands for the word monter, which means to climb. French. Monter. Okay, so our slope, we use an M. It seems to me it would have been easier to use S, but the French people had something to do with this. And so if I start here and I go over to here, how many squares am I rising here, Corey? Remember, it's rise over run. How many am I going up? No. Up is this way. Am I going up at all? Well, I got to get over here. How many spaces is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one's that go on? Does that go in the numerator or the denominator? This is the run, which goes down here. The 5. Now, how many spaces did you go up? Adam? How many spaces did I go up to get over here? I didn't. Did I go up? No. So it's 0. If you need to take your calculator out, what's 0 divided by 5? It's 0. I'm okay. 0. If I have nothing and I give it all to you, you will get. Corey, how much will you get? If I have nothing and I give it to everybody in this class, you'll get nothing. Right? If I have nothing, If I have $0 and I give it to everybody, everybody gets 0. Okay, what about that one? Andrew, what about that one? Well, let's start here and let's just do this one. What's the rise? How many are you going up? Oops, that's not going to work. Right. Rise, overrun. That's not going to work either. Let's try the white one. Rise, there we go. Overrun. So we went up 3, but how many did you go over? None. What happens when you take 3 divided by 0? You're going to have to know this. No. I have $3 and I'm not going to give it to anybody. No. If I had $3, I give it to one person, they'll get $3. I'm not going to give it to anybody. Everybody gets an undefined amount. This is actually an infinity, which the symbol looks like that. It's very big. And so we say it's undefined. You could say it's that, or you can say it does not exist. Well, what I like about does not exist, there's no value. Try it, you get an error on your calculator. It doesn't go over at all, does it? It's at, x is at -4 here. X is always -4, so we're kind of getting me into writing equations of lines, but I don't want to go there. Now, if I want to write does not exist, I can do D, N, E. It doesn't exist. Another term that I don't like, because I'm a skier, is no slope. Because I think it's misleading. The slope's infinitely large, big, it's huge. We just say it doesn't exist. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, there you have some problems. And it says determine if the slope of the line is positive, negative, or 0. So remember, if it's positive, it goes up like this. If it's negative, it goes down. If it's 0, is it horizontal or vertical? No, it's horizontal. If it does not exist or undefined, it's vertical. I'd rather add that little one in there. So I'm going to let you try that. And all you have to do is put a plus or minus. So on the first one, is this positive or negative slope? Positive. Let's put a plus there. That's all you have to do. You can find the slope if you want, but they're not asking that. Okay, so what is it? Is it 4/3 or is it 3/4? Which goes in the numerator? Heaton, what goes in the numerator? It's rise over run. And you may use your notes. Easy to get it upside down. So how many spaces did you rise up? 3. And you ran how many spaces to the door? 4. Try the next one. I want me to draw the triangle so you can see it a little bit better. Now, they gave us points, so the best you can do if they don't give you points, and sometimes we're going to have problems with this, is you're going to have to look at and find where the line crosses the vertical and the horizontal nicely. Like this one's like partway between it. I don't want to use that point because it's not very good. So this is going to be what? Label the sides of your triangle. How many spaces is this one? Yeah, so how many spaces is this? But you got to start, by the way, you got to start at a point. We're going to start right here, not on the axis. There isn't a nice one on the axis. I can't see one that's nice. So where is this? How many spaces do you go up? Think about this going downtown Minneapolis. You have to go up how many flights? Adam, do you know? How many go from here to there? I'm going to erase this. This is 4. And how many up? 1. So trace out the triangle. You're not on the axis. So is it 4/1 or 1/4? Is it very steep? That's not very steep. Which is bigger, 1/4 or 4? 1/4 is much smaller than 4. Is it positive or negative? Negative. We got a lot of practice. And we got 0. So the next problem is, what problems would you have? I don't know why she has a clock there, but okay. Now, Mrs. Whittle, I put the points right on there for you, but not on yours. When I copied it, I must not have copied it very well. So it's really kind of hard to sometimes find the points. You do the best you can. And you're going to have a tough time with the little ones on the next page, but whatever. Okay? So I'm going to start. You can do this little triangle, or guess what? You could do the big triangle. You could do this little triangle, or you could do this big triangle. It doesn't matter. Makes no difference. This is a constant slope. And what a slope is a rate of change. So in science classes, what are you studying in science now? Some of you are going to drive cars. How do you measure your speed in a car? It's miles per hour. That's a rate. These are all rates. And so when you collect data, you collect data about how things change in time. Maybe it's temperature. I don't know, what have you been doing lately in science? Ninth graders especially. You forgot. I know they were doing some crazy things, but anyway, with their iPads and stuff. But you haven't been doing that. It's just the ratio of two changes. There's the run, there's the rise. It's all slope is. It's a ratio. It's a fraction. And we will not be changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. Yay. So, is this positive or negative slope? Corey, is it positive or negative? It's negative. Okay, so I know it's negative. And then all I have to do is count the spaces. Do you want to do the big triangle or do you want to do the little triangle? Let's do both. Let's do the big triangle. How many spaces is this? From here to here. Count how many spaces I have to go over. How many blocks? Let's see how many blocks. 2. How many blocks to go from here over here? You're over here at Macy's and you want to tell somebody how to get to the Target auditorium. So you got to count. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks like 6 to me. So it's 6 over 2. Now let's use the little triangle. Is that a different answer? So that was 6. What's this one? How many blocks here? It's kind of messy, but how many blocks here? I'm just going to go from here to there. That's 1. Then how many blocks do I have to go up? 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 over 1. Is 6 divided by 2 the same as 3 over 1? Adam, is that the same? That's the same? What's 6 divided by 2? What's 3 divided by 1? 3? Yeah, that's the same. How about this one? You guys got to try it. So how many are you going to go over? Okay, why don't you take this little pen and start here and count how many over. Because you can see the dots on the smartboard. Do you have a color? Oh, you got to go select the color up at the top. And whatever color you want. And just press on that. Okay, it's going to go. Now, how many spaces did you go? I think you went 4. So we're starting here at -4. You went 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of hard because they're close together. So it's 4. And then how many? Oops. You're right. You're going to go 3. You went too far. You got to get over to this other dot. You can't go through the buildings. You got to always go on the you always have to go on the lines. Okay, get your color again. There. Okay, so how many do you go up here? You're right. You do 3 here. And then how many do you go up? And now you got to pick a color again. That's That's okay. There, how many spaces is that up? 2. So it's 2 here. Why don't you write it 2 there? Can you do that? And then this is, no, it's 3. So put a 3 there. And what's the slope then? It's the top number over the bottom number. It's the up over the over. So it's 2 over 3. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Good. Josh, let's have you try the next one. Is it positive or negative? Do you have a number? Andrew, do you have a number? Well, you're supposed to get a number. We could do it on the clock. You got to pick a color. You got to go up to the colors up here. Yeah, there you go. And you can pick whatever color you want. Black. Okay. Press on that, and then count. I don't know why you guys keep hitting that. You know, you got to press on the color. Okay. Now start here. How many is that? 4. So let's write that number right over there. So you can put your 4 right here. And then how many over this way? 3. You guys all need to have this done. Okay. Is it positive or negative? Well, yeah, that 3 is positive. So put the 3 there. Can you write it on there? Yeah, yeah. It's easier with the oh, you got to select the color again. There you go. So what's the slope there? 3 over 4 or 4 over 3?
4 over 3.
4 over 3. Is it positive or negative? You're going down the hill. Oh, it's negative. When you go down the hill, it's negative. Go up the hill, it's positive. So write your answer there someplace. So everybody should have this written down. Okay? Should write these all down. And here we had 0. M equals 0. Okay, so right now, let's get them written down. So you should be through this page, and if you want to turn the page over and do the best you can, I'm sorry, I had to make them little. Now, here's another thing you could do. You could take a ruler and you could actually measure, as long as these axes are the same, horizontally and vertically, you could just measure that with a ruler and go centimeters or inches. It doesn't matter, because the units will cancel out. So, this is the first one. Much easier to see there, and I'm sorry, when I made them small, I didn't realize they were going to come up like that. But they did. So, would like to try this one? Thank you. How about these guys over here? Let's try the first one. Oh, and that's all we're going to get to today, and we'll review it tomorrow. So you need a slope for that one. And then what about this slope? Yeah. So you can try it. Did you get the other ones done? No. Let's get the slopes down. I'm going to go back, and we'll start this one tomorrow. So at least get the answers written down. You can go back and practice with this. Then tomorrow we're going to have a slope worksheet. And we'll see how far we get. There's a lot of problems there. And again, they're not the greatest graphs in the world, but you're going to do the best you can. And when we grade it, we're going to grade it by what's reasonable. And then you and I will both be in training for the iPads, and we will be doing this on our iPads. So if you find it hard to just work with your finger, you're probably going to prefer, I can do this. What's that? And there are other things out there. There's Doodlebug. which you can draw pictures on, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. But they'll get you all trained in on this. But that will be nice, and then you'll submit them to me electronically. You go through Google,